Lo and behold, the swarm of Republican presidential candidates begins to gather and descend on America. Two more for Pennsylvania Avenue, another one to come in mere moments, or so it seems. And the odds will start to look like the judges' cards from Pacquiao Mayweather. In Texas, one group decided to shove their hate for a certain religion square in the face of the world and offer a cash bonus to the person who could be the most offensive. But we can save this hour with a well-placed nerdgasm. I'm Ed Berliner. Buckle up. Let's take off on the fastest 60 minutes in news talk for Monday, May 4th, 2015. This is The Hardline.
The event was going very smoothly, and about 10 minutes to 7, a dark-colored vehicle pulled up to the west entrance parking lot. When that car pulled up and stopped, those officers began to exit their vehicle, and two men exited the dark-colored sedan. Both of them had assault rifles, came around the back of the car and started shooting at the police car. The police officer in that car began returning fire and struck both men, taking them down.
There's no excuse for an attack of this type, even on an anti-Islam event. Even anti-Muslim bigots like Pamela Geller and Robert Spencer and Geert Wilders have the right to air their hatred and bigotry, and we have the right to peacefully challenge that bigotry, but there's no excuse for any type of violence.
The only way to reimagine our government is to reimagine who is leading it. I'm Carly Fiorina, and I'm running for president.
I'm Ben Carson, and I'm a candidate for president of the United States.
Another day, another shocker no one saw coming. Another Republican or two officially candidates for president. Let's get right to it and take the hard line then. On the right, Republican strategist, professor at Georgetown University, Bradley Blakeman. And on the left, Democratic strategist and the former Deputy Staff Secretary to President Bill Clinton, David Goodfriend. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
David, I'm going to start out with you. Is it not fair to say that Ben Carson and Carly Fiorina strike absolute and utter fear in the hearts of liberals everywhere, and right now Hillary Clinton is shaking in her shoes?
That would be inaccurate, in my view. Now, I think they're both fine Americans.
Did you not see the great amount of sarcasm in the heavy tongue that was loaded in the cheek there, David, just in case?
No, listen, I don't want to cast aspersions at either one of them. They're both fine Americans, but Carly Fiorina is Mitt Romney in a skirt. She laid off 30,000 people and took multi-million-dollar bonuses, and I'll run against that all day long. And Ben Carson is a pro-lifer who I think will alienate more and more mainstream Americans the more they hear him speak. So I'm very pleased with these candidates. The one thing that I think will benefit the Republican field generally by having both of them in the race is that Carly Fiorina will make sure that other candidates in the Republican field are speaking respectfully of women, that they don't take their attacks on Hillary Clinton too far to become a gender attack. And the same goes for Dr. Carson with respect to ethnic minorities in the United States. I would not put it past Republicans to overplay the hate card.
Bradley, overplay the hate card, Bradley. Look out, he just brought the H word in.
H!
Look, there is no hate for Hillary Clinton. What there is disdain for the fact that the Clintons don't follow the rules. It's only the rules as the Clintons see them. They honor them in the breach. And the trust factor with Hillary, if you look at polls across the country, whether you're Republican or Democrat, she has a trust negative. She has a trust deficit. So, look, Democrats may see as hate, Republicans see as truth.
So, Bradley, then let me ask about what else David said with regard to these two candidates. Fair to say that they bring something to the table. Look, we're not trying to denigrate them in any way, but they do bring something to the table. But let's be very honest here. There is almost no chance that either one of them will be president of the United States in 2016. I think you have to admit that. The polls would tell us that. But what they're looking to do is make sure that they're important and their message becomes part of the platform, correct?
Absolutely. I think it's very healthy. Look, in America today, there are more people looking for a job at CVS than there are President of the United States. The fact of the matter is the Republicans are going to have a wide field, great people. Their chances are yet to be seen by the party. Remember, you have to be selected before you're elected, selected by the party. So I see nothing wrong with that. It's a lot better than being told as a Democrat who the nominee is going to be. And the minute you try and mention another name, somehow you're disloyal to the party of the Clintons. So I'm not for coronations. I'm for the electoral process of selecting a candidate by the party at large, not by the elitists.
All right, so let's look into a few issues here. Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead, David. You wanted to answer.
Well, I want to agree with my friend Brad Blakeman on something. Yes, there are more candidates. There is more competition on the Republican side than on the Democratic side. That is true. But I also think that these two candidates who announced today represent they reflect a kind of civil war that's going on right now in the Republican Party that we can't ignore. You have corporate mainstream Republicans on the one hand, like Carly Fiorina. You have rock-ribbed conservatives, social conservatives, religious conservatives, like Ben Carson. And if you look at what played out in Indiana and in other states, there is outright warfare between these two halves of the Republican Party.
It's called a political process. You guys don't like
disagreement.
You guys better really stop here for just a second, because I had already written down that Blakeman and Goodfriend agreed on the show right now. I was going to start to make this down and mark this, and now you're going off on another tangent all over here. But Bradley, I can see why that would kind of stick in your craw a little bit every time somebody mentions war in the Republican Party. But I'm going to play the other side and say that there is a lot of discourse between Republicans right now on what their platform is going to be. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I think that's healthy, because as we lead up to the convention where the platform will be determined, of course you want to have robust debate. We're not in agreement on everything. We have a big tent, and that's the way it should be. And we should be having a wide selection of candidates that make up the breadth and scope of our party, and then we coalesce behind an agreed platform, and that becomes our agenda to get elected. Unlike the Democrats are being told what the platform is and being told who the candidate will be.
All right, look at I was just going to move on here, but now I can't, because David, now you got another shot here. You're being told what the platform will be. Wait a minute, I'm going to play it right down the middle. Brad's got a point. Here is the platform. Here's what it's going to be. There doesn't seem to be any change whatsoever. It's Hillary or bust.
Well, I think there is definitely some debate about what the priorities of the party should be. For example, when you have Bernie Sanders saying that we need to look at the billionaire class and the influence they're having.
But who's going to pay any attention to it, though, David? Because it doesn't make a difference what's said. No one pays attention.
Hillary Clinton herself has said, I am running, I'm in the primary, and I'm running like I'm behind 10 points every day. And she is. What that means is she has to pay attention to the left flank and the progressives in the party. She's not taking them for granted. She's trying to make the case to them just as if.
But there's no one else there, David. There's no one else. Let's be honest. Who? O'Malley?
I understand. No, listen. Well, I think the world of Governor O'Malley, he was my governor. I don't know if he's going to break out. He might get more than the 1% he has today. But here's the point. She has to make sure that progressives in her own party show up to vote on election day. And if they're not inspired, if they're not motivated, they're staying home. Okay. So they have to believe in her at the outset. They have to be with her.
You mean to say she could lose the nomination when she's the only one? No, she's going to get it.
She has to make sure that she's won everybody's vote. And she's running as if she has started from square one with 0 votes, which she has. So you can say, well, there's only one candidate, but in her mind, and I think this is a smart way to play.
By the way, I only got about a minute left here, and I have to get this in here. And believe me, here we have an amazing moment here where the two have agreed, but I only have 60 seconds left. David, I got to throw this one to you. There's a report in Politico that says Hillary's losing a lot of pull with that great Hollywood elite here. Even the actors are starting to pull out from not going after Hillary. What does that mean, David?
Well, I'm a Wisconsin native, and I think, Hollywood can do whatever it wants. I don't particularly care about the Hollywood.
But that's where the money comes from, and you need the money.
Well, the money comes from a lot of different places. It comes from small donors. It comes from entrepreneurs across the country. It's not just in LA and New York. And I think that's really important for us to remember here. What about Chicago? What about Milwaukee? What about places where people own family businesses and they want to support a candidate? I mean, I like Hollywood as much as the next guy. I love going to the movies. I really don't care what they have to say.
15 seconds, Brad. Do you think it means anything at all?
Yeah, of course it does. Look, Hollywood's seen this movie before. They don't like it. They rejected it the last time, and it's 2 thumbs down for Hillary Clinton.
All right, as long as we don't see Rocky 15 again. Both guys did agree at one point. There we go. We got a big moment. David Goodfriend, Bradley Blakeman, thanks so much for joining us, guys. We'll talk again.
Thank you.
All right. And by the way, if you want to tell us how you feel about it, make sure that you get a hold of us here at The Hard Line and let us know what your opinions are, whether it comes down to email, Twitter, Facebook. Check the numbers. We'll give you those contacts all day long right here on The Hard Line.